Right then guys, James here. Okay, do you remember quite a while ago I did a video on club sound systems of how I was annoyed with it? Well, I caught up with a good friend of mine and known him for quite a while. Now, he does a lot of the system installations for a lot of the big pub chains around. So I recently spoken to him about one of the installs he has done. Okay, and remember when I said about the sound system was like really sounded awful. It was like all squashed and it sounded very compressed. And I said to him, I says, "This sounds awful." You know, I said, and it's not very set up. It's not set up very well. Because what happens is you go and play in the venue, and like I say, you're having to push the gains right up on your mixer, right? And the manager's telling me to do so. But what you do is you get to a certain level, which we call in the industry threshold, of yes, I am a sound engineer, yes, I used to install sound systems 10 years ago. Okay. So I spoke to him about this and I said, why have you done that on that system? So what it is, it goes, you get to a certain volume, you mix your next track in, and then you get something called a duck on it. It ducks. It duck means it reduces the volume down. Annoying, I know. It's just ridiculous. He says, well, I didn't do that on that system, I'm afraid. I says, well, why is it doing it then? He says, right. He says, basically the new sound systems that he installs now, it's all made on a networking system. So it's all linked together. You can link all the speakers in. It controls the lighting in the place. So it controls, say, the house lights where they come on and come off. It controls the DJ lights. It controls the TV screens, the videos. It does basically everything. It's all linked together. Okay. So I was saying to him, I said, well, it really doesn't sound like one of your systems. I know you installed it because I know what his systems look like when he installs them, the way he positions his speakers, the way he positions his lights, and the certain sound of it. Right, the sound aspect was there, but it just sounded nasty. So I did a little more research because, like I said, I've been out of the sound system installing industry for 10 years. So I'm not really up on the new technology. So I've done some research. I've had to do a lot of studying for the past couple of weeks or so of how everything works. So I've got a valid point to argue with people. Okay. So sat there, studied it. I know the ins and outs and how it works, but the thing is now these days, when you used to install a sound system before, it used to have something called a speaker controller, and your lighting was separate. So the speaker management system, which is the speaker controller, controls all the sound to the speakers in the pub, different zones, different, all your different zones in different parts of the restaurants or different parts of the pub. It controls a lot. It controls all the different sounds. So if you've got a set of bass bins, it controls those to the amps, and then your top speakers are separate as well. Okay, if you're still sticking with me, all right. I ain't gonna get too technical. So what I was saying to him is, the new one, you have to either have a tablet with you or a laptop, and you have to use this company's software to do all your your editing, and you can adjust your parameters on the system. But it's password protected, so if you plug it in, it'll ask for the password, and then if you ain't got the password, you're not doing anything with it. Just like the old ones, you put a password on the speaker management system, nobody could get in there unless they had the password. So I said to my friend, I said, so what's gone on in this venue? Because it's got that massive ducking on it, it sounds awful and everything. He says, well, he didn't do that. They've got a person who works for the pub chain who goes in and decides, oh, I think we should do that to it. So to me, he doesn't really know what he's doing. He comes in, it sounds like he puts a massive, he doesn't adjust the gains on the system. He changes the limiting threshold. So he thinks that's just going to drop the volume down. It doesn't. It compresses the sound so it sounds all squashed, dull, and horrible. Then he introduces something we call a ducking. Ducking means the sound ducks down at a certain volume, right? So when it ducks down, it's annoying because there's nothing you can do about it. It takes about 2 to 3 seconds for the volume to come back up. Of course, everybody's looking at me when I'm DJing going, what the hell's he doing? Or every time I try and talk on the microphone, the system drops down. Annoying again. Because I've got a very, very strong DJ voice. When I talk very loud. So as you can hear me over the top of the music. And that's another issue I have. So yeah, it's not the system installer's fault. It's this person who works for the pub chain, club chain, who comes in and he basically annihilates the system. He ruins them. Which is sad really, because my friend does some really good sound installs and then it gets ruined by somebody else. I don't know why they can't just get him in to do it properly and pay him, and then it'll be done right, rather than somebody who just don't know what they're doing, think they know what they're doing, go in and destroy something. It just annoys me. But at the end of the day, I'm just a DJ now. I have no control over what the systems sound like anymore, so it's not my problem. All I'm doing is I'm playing music, entertaining the crowd, talking on the microphone, and that's it. So if people come and complain to me about it doesn't sound right, I say, look, it's not my problem. That's to do with the venue. That's the system installers. That's to do with whoever is in charge of the sound system. It's not my problem. You know, at the end of the day, I've even had the managers come up to me and say, oh, that doesn't sound right. Or, oh, those speakers over there aren't right. I said, well, I can't do anything about it because it's all locked out. I cannot change the parameters of anything. I said, so you want to get back whoever did that to sort it out. I said, because it's not my problem. So yeah, like I say, even the managers sometimes ask me to do it. I can't do it anymore. Back in the day you could go into the system and sort it out yourself. But you can't do it now, you know? And it's just ridiculous. So I hope this sort of helps how I found out what's been going on. So yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. So it's just like it or lump it really, and just put up with it at the end of the day. Okay, well cheers for that then. I'll speak to you soon. Bye now.